Okay, so in the last lecture, we discussed the learning outcome 1, understanding the components of computer system, and we had discussed in detail the hardware and its internal components, memory measuring units, and many more. Yeah, and today is the learning outcome 2, understanding the computer software. So normally we will be discussing the operating systems, software applications, web applications, mobile applications at introductory level, because you know that this unit is in level 4, and obviously, as I already explained, that at the beginner level this type of unit is mandatory and must be taught in every course. Yeah. Okay, so let us start from the presentations. Computer systems and software, understanding the computer software. Let us see what is a software. The instructions in the form of a program which control the operations of a computer together with the associated documentation. So basically, when somebody asks you to define a software, then the genuine and correct definition will be the instruction in the form of a program. Yeah, whatever the program or software is, how would you define, in other words, a software? Probably there might not be any good definition, and the way that a software needs to be explained is basically the instructions in the form of program. Yeah, the software has some instructions to do something. Yeah. So and obviously it has associated documentation as well. Software is a set of electronic instructions indeed. So electronic instructions like commands that are executed into the hardware that tells a computer how to do certain tasks. A set of instructions is often called a program. When a computer is using a particular program, it is said to be running or executing the program. So the program itself runs into the computer, so we call this terminology as running or executing. This is a very common thing. Yeah, we said the software is running, but these are the proper terminologies that we need to use. Yeah.
So a software is an instruction of a program.
Yeah. There are two types of the software. One is the system software, other is the application software. Do you know the difference between them?
Between a system software and application software?
Yeah.
I would hypothesize that a system software has to do with the operating system and like a certain executable file that runs in Windows, and an application software would be anything else, like I know, even Winamp or VDJ or any other program that is can be run from a certain operating system, but is not bound to it.
Yes. So simple words, the system software is used to run the computer. Without system software, the computer cannot run. And a type of system software is the operating system. Yeah?
Yeah.
You would say operating system is the system software. The other system softwares can be utility programs, like utility programs like installers. For example, if you don't have any of the Windows even into the computer, but you try to boot your computer with kind of startup drive or utility programs, the debuggers maybe the formatters, you normally format the hard drive, before the Windows. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they are also called the system software. Yeah. So not only
Okay.
the Windows, but before the Windows. Yeah. You see, there are many commands into the black screen. They are also called the utility programs. So it can have a variety, not only the operating system, but utility programs, virus killers, and defragmenters, formatters. They are the system software. Let us come to the some definition. Programs that coordinate the operation of a computer, facilitate the efficient use of computers resources, and assist in the development of an application program. So basically, the operating system helps to use the computer's resources,
Okay.
because it is the responsibility of the operating system or system software which allows you to use your computer. For example, if you want to run for example, a movie, then it is the responsibility of the system software, yeah, to allow your movie to run with efficiently with normal, the required speed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and also they help you to create the application softwares. For example, if you want to create an application software, then before starting to write any application software, yeah, you need a system software that will allow you to run the application software program developments.
So let's
Yeah.
say if I use VLC to watch a movie, VLC is an application software,
Yeah.
but it needs a certain system software
Yeah.
to run with.
Yeah. So that is the
Okay.
one kind of the application software. And for example, if you wanted to do some create some animation, then excuse me, in order to run the Flash software, yeah, you need the system software again. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in this way, the system software is important. System software exists primarily for the computer itself to help the computer perform specific functions. One major type of system software is operating system. So one of the major type of the operating of the system software is operating system. However, the supporting system softwares can be, like I told you, that the defragmenters, the formatters, are the programs which help you to install the Windows as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So so keep remember that the operating system is not the only system software, but there can be other system softwares which can be run inside the system software as well as before the installation of the system software. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. Normally, I mean, why I want to give the more emphasis on this point, that the Windows is not only the solution or not only the kind of system software, but it is one of the system software. Yeah. Okay. Now, operating system. The operating system tells the computer how to interact with the user and its own devices. Yeah. Obviously, Windows gives you an option to access your computer. Yeah. For example, if you want to access your hard drive, you access it through the operating system. And again, I won't say Windows, I would say the operating system. Probably you can access your hard drive through Windows, as well as you can access the hard drive through the command prompt. Have you used the command prompt option?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the operating systems tells the computer how to interact with the user and its own devices. Common operating systems include Windows, Macintosh, OS/2, Unix, Linux. These are the types of the operating systems. They are being accessed, whatever their nature of the console is. Probably the Unix is the command prompt system, or whatever the options of those operating systems. We use the consoles, and we that we use normally. Yeah. So
Yeah.
all these kinds of softwares exist. A program that acts an intermediary between the user of a computer and the computer hardware. So you can define the operating system. If somebody asks you the definition, an intermediary program between the user and the computer hardware. In simple words, for example, if you are in a Viva, if you are in an interview, simply somebody asks what is an operating system, you are supposed to answer, it is an intermediary between the user and the computer hardware. Is good?
Yeah.
Okay. Operating system controls and coordinates the use of hardware among the various application programs for the various users. So it is the coordinator as well of the hardware, so that the application programs for the users can run. It is the coordination that, for example, in Windows, you use multiple softwares at one time, like the Join Me, the Skype, the Microsoft Word, the PowerPoint presentation. So it is all done through controlled and coordinated by the operating system, and your hardware, your computer is capable to run the various applications for the user. It is also called as a resource allocator, which manages and allocates the resources. So for example, in computer at the moment I'm using 4-5 applications, and some of the applications are also running in the background. It is the responsibility of the operating system which is managing and allocating the resources. For example, if I have used 5 programs, probably if I will start the game, then game might not be loaded if the existing usage of memory is already done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Control program controls the execution of user programs and operations of input-output devices. Programs are being controlled, and IO devices are also controlled. How? For example, input-output devices like the mouse I am moving here, it is being triggered by the operating system. The output that you are able to see on the screen, it is also controlled by the operating system. Kernel. Have you heard about the kernel? Have you heard about the kernel?
Yeah.
Basically, the kernel is the program running all the times. How? For example, if you have loaded the Windows, if your computer has restarted and the Windows has been loaded, now the Windows can have lots of utilities like disk cleaning, the many more like drivers, like the disk management tools, the apart from disk management, the properties of the softwares and many more, because it has lots of the things to do, like allocation, control. The part of the operating system which runs all the time yeah, is basically
Mm-hmm.
called the kernel.
All
Like,
right.
like if I say that the Windows 10 operating system is based on, let's say, a combination of 100 programs, yeah, 100 system software programs, and 100 programs, like they can be like one, let's say for example, one can be the copy, another can be the paste, and another third one can be the move operation, for example. Fourth operation can be, getting input from the keyboard. Fifth operation would be from, displaying the output on the screen. Let's say for example up to 100 functionalities of the program. Then then some of them can only be needed whenever the user wants. But if the computer is running and the Windows is loaded, no matter if you are using anything or not, if your desktop is active or not, certain
Mm-hmm.
selected number of, the components of the operating system are loaded into the RAM, or is called the kernel. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like for example, if your car has an engine, if your car has a brake, and if your car has a gearbox, yeah, when you
Yeah.
switch on the ignition of the engine, then for example it is the kernel. The engine is ready now. The gearbox and the brake is the second option to use. So it is
Mm-hmm.
the kind of the program like kernel must be running all the time. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why it is important to understand these? Because if you will be specializing, or if the unit, for example, operating system has to be studied, then you will be taught the different components of the operating system. And obviously, if you want to do, if you want to create your own program, if you want to
Mm-hmm.
create your own operating system, then you should have some basic knowledge, obviously, that how, what are the basics of the operating system. Yeah, make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So fine. Now, operating system types. Like below is the basic list of types of operating systems and few examples of the operating systems that fall into each of the type, like MS-DOS, standard operating system, yeah, for IBM compatible personal computers. So DOS is, do you know what is DOS?
DOS.
Yeah,
Um, a certain set of commands.
DOS stands for,
Ah, no. I don't know the acronym.
yeah, DOS is basically the disk operating system. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft disk operating system. So it was the initial one of the, console based disk operating system, like the command prompt. You remember the command prompt?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
basically that command prompt used to be in the console based. It was called, and it is called the disk operating system. The standard one, initially the IBM introduced it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then others as the are the GUI, the graphical user interface based softwares, is a short for graphical user interface, and GUI,
Mm-hmm.
operating systems containing graphics and icons, and is commonly navigated by using a computer mouse. The examples are like System 7 System 7, the Windows 98, Windows CE, Windows 7, 8, 10. So all types of the window graphical user interface based, or is one of the Windows types. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
normally,
Yeah.
because uh, some of them, no matter if it is a Windows, Linux, either you will find them in the GUI, or they will be console based.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Operating system types. Like, have you ever used the command prompt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like in command prompt, you type one command. Let me show you. You wrote directory. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see this? CLS directory page wise. Yeah. And CLS, you go back. So over here, you are only using one command at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, the computers used to execute one program at one time, because if there were no any, let's say, there was no windows and you only had a one command line. Yeah, command line means you are giving the commands from one line,
Mm-hmm.
one at a time. Then obviously you don't have any option to create the execution of more than one commands. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So by the passage of time, the type of the computer operating systems changed. They became multi-user, multi-processing, multitasking. Like
Mm-hmm.
multi-user, a multi-user operating system allows for multiple users to use the same computer at the same time and different times. Examples of operating system that would fall into this category are Linux, Unix, Windows 2000. Like, you created more than one account for a computer and people are logging
Uh-huh.
in into
Yeah.
the computer at, like, if you are using, for example, have you ever seen any laboratories like a computer labs in nowadays in universities? What they do, the students are given the username and password. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
the students log in into their account. Yeah. Normally they sit on a terminal computer, but they actually access their data from the server.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So a multi-user login means one server, like you know one server is holding or allowing multiple users to access their files data. So in this way, the type of the operating system which allows multi users, yeah, is called the multi-user operating system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then multiprocessing, an operating system capable of supporting and utilizing more than one computer processor. Examples of operating system that would fall into this category are Linux, Unix, Windows XP, Windows 7, 8, 10. Now, do you have an idea of the multiprocessors?
Yes.
Like,
I remember. I remember, for example, myself. When I had a Pentium 4.
yeah,
Uh, the processor I used at the time was 1.
yeah,
Now we have quad cores, 4, 8s, and so on.
exactly, yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
the
So,
Windows at the time wouldn't acknowledge more than one processor, but now they
exactly,
do.
yeah, exactly. So, so the if the hardware, for example, if the computer has more than one processor or more than one cores, for example, it has a two cores, it means the processor has two processors or multi-processing. Then it is also the responsibility of the operating system to control the processors, multi-processor. So nowadays, uh, is After Pentium 4, yeah, like Core 2 Duo or dual core, then Core i3, Core i7, yeah, you are
Yeah.
expecting more number of cores. Some of them are the virtual, some of them are the physical cores. Yeah, you must
Mhm.
have seen those cores into the properties as well. Have you seen those cores as well?
Yeah.
Like here in the device manager,
Mhm.
you see the number of processor. They are four. Yeah, so this is
Mhm.
basically the processor
Yeah.
multi-processing. Yeah, support for the multi-processing. So it's not only the hardware, but it is the responsibility of the operating system as well to support the multi-processors. Yeah,
Yeah.
then multitasking operating system that is capable of allowing multiple softwares processes to run at the same time. So like all these now, the operating system that we are using nowadays, they are basically the multi-user, multi-processing, multitasking, and multi-threading. Yeah,
Mhm.
multi-threading is basically you run different parts of a software, at different locations.
Mhm.
Multi-threading is operating systems that allow different parts of a software program to run concurrently. Examples of operating system that are the multi-threading, they are the same, the latest one. How the multi-threading works, like for example, the one software has to do a calculation, like a four calculations, yeah, and
Mhm.
you have splitted your program to be calculated, let's say one slice of the program at one computer or one processor, another slice of the software to run on the another core, and let's say like the not only the hardware point of view, the computer is, let's say, multi-user, multi-processing, and multitasking. Regarding the software point of view, the software being splitted and the support of multi-threading, that the slices, the parts of the software being executed at different locations, is basically the multi-threading.
Mhm.
Yeah? So these were some of the types of the operating systems. Yeah, obviously, there you can find the lots of definitions and examples, but at the introductory level, we have just covered these definitions at all. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Now, application software. The application software can be a general purpose application software and special purpose application software. General purpose application software, the software developed to aid the general problem solving needs of a people. It is not dedicated to any particular use but may be used in many more different situations. Like general purpose can be any, they are further classified into word processing, spreadsheets, database management systems, presentation graphics, communications. So when you talk about like
Mhm.
creating, editing, printing text, that's the spreadsheet, that's the word processing. Spreadsheets includes the uh, graphs
Like
and organization
Excel.
like Excel. Yeah.
Mhm.
Database organization organizes data. Presentation graphics could be graphics like you created.
PowerPoint and stuff.
Uh,
Could
yes, yeah,
PowerPoint
PowerPoint.
count?
Yeah, PowerPoint, and probably you use any graphics software like Photoshop or anything. The communication
Mhm.
could be the internet, World Wide Web, and probably the other chatting softwares maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Special purpose softwares which are being developed to perform certain tasks like a management software, accounting software, entertainment, education, scientific related, all these things. Yeah. Like, if
Yeah.
you are using installing the accounting software, then it can only be used only for the accounting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
One second. And there are about 29 slides. Okay, so now we go a little bit further. World Wide Web, it was invented by Tim Berners-Lee in 1989. Yeah. Impact of World Wide Web: 5 positive effects of Internet. It is easier to do research, communication with family, friends, and relatives becomes faster using the Internet. There is a great possibility to earn while working from home. Faster business transactions and cheaper product saving on travel costs. For example, if you have internet, then you can easily find the cheaper travel plans. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are discussing the web applications topic. Basically, let me catch up. We completed the operating systems, we completed the software applications. Now we are going to discuss the web applications. Yeah. And then we will discuss the mobile applications. Yeah.
All right.
So we define the World Wide Web. Then, positive about the web: the negative of the internet is children, young adults, and even adults get addicted to the games online. Is that true?
Yeah.
Pornography is uncontrolled. Yeah. Loss of human touch. Loss of human touch means real social context loss. For example, if you have 200 or 5,000 friends, but literally if you would go outside, then you don't have any friend at all, in your town. Is that true?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Like, there was a picture, there was a death ceremony. Somebody was sitting into the church, and a guy was looking at the chairs, like 5 or 10 people were sitting, in the condolence. Then a kid was saying, "Oh, I just seen he had like 3,000 friends, but I don't know where they are now."
Yeah.
Yeah, so you lose social context. Indeed, criminal elements use information to advance their malicious intents. Obviously, the more the socially you are open, you are at risk. Indeed. Yeah. Abandonment of the family: you normally don't give a time to the family. Is that true?
Yeah, more or less.
I mean, not for everyone. Yeah. But that's true that you, for example, if you are sitting in a room, if you are sitting on a bed, yeah, even the husband is doing, using their own phone and watching their own interested videos, and the wife is, browsing something else. Probably they could, talk to each other. However, they will be spending more time on the phone other than their own talks.
Physical
Is that
contact,
true?
yeah.
Yeah. So then we come to the architecture of the web applications. The general architecture of web applications can be described as a user from a browser initiating an application that may run on one or more websites. So architecturally, a web is basically one user using the browser and accessing many websites. These websites communicate to each other and may exchange data or start processes. So basically, the internet has become the kind of network. One website is connected to another website. If you are trying to search something on the Google, then in response you are getting the advertisements, the paid advertisements. Oh, are you interested into the insurance? Have you noticed this?
Sorry, come again?
Like, you just type the car insurance on the Google,
Yeah.
and the other websites you are using nowadays, they are giving you the options: buy the insurance, buy the insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this now this definition of the internet has become in this way, that websites communicate to one another and may exchange data or start processes. Is that true?
Yeah.
The websites are accessed normally through the URL. Yeah. Without looking at this, you know that what is URL?
Yeah, link.
Yeah. So uniform resource locator. Normally these terminologies. Uh, Normally you type HTTP. Do you know what is HTTP?
Yeah, secure connection. A
No,
secure
no.
URL.
I said HTTP.
HTTP. Um, it's a protocol. Let me remember the abbreviation. Um, hyperlink. No,
It's hypertext
hy
transfer protocol.
yeah, hypertext.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So look at these, like these definitions are really matters. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So at introductory level, for example, so URL like HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol, S for secure, and www World Wide Web, and these basic terminologies has to be understood from the this at this unit, so that everything should have been done smoothly once. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, we go ahead further. Now web application types. That can be static web application, displays little text, no flexible, developed in HTML, CSS, jQuery, caters animated objects and GIFs and videos. Dynamic web application, complex on technical level, uses database for loading data and content, operates with an administrative panel called CMS, content management system. Content modification is simple and handy, developed using PHP, ASP, or whatever. So it can be static web application, it can be dynamic web application. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Then shop online is also kind of the third type of the application, where you involves electronic payment, operates within an administrative panel to add, delete, modify product information. Fully responsive application, mobile version is also the clone of web app. Portal web accesses contents from various sections or categories through home pages, include chat, forums, emails. So the third one is the online application. Fourth one is a web portal. For example, if you wanted the cheaper air tickets, yeah, then the kind of one application will give you the information from lots of airlines. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it
Okay.
is basically the web portal.
All
Fifth,
right.
animated web applications, like containing the animated
Plus.
text, like Flash or anything.
Yeah.
And sixth one is the web applications with content management system, like you are using or moderating your website through the WordPress or Joomla. Hey, have you heard about those? Yeah.
WordPress. Yeah.
Yeah. So
The rest no.
you have the lights. You don't need to create your website. You don't need to create the web pages, the styles on their own, but you need a content management system on its own. When you will create your new page, then it would automatically give you the style. You only need to put the content of the page. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a template, right?
Is a kind of template, but the dynamic one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then web services. Web services is the term. Web service describes a standard way of integrating web applications using XML, SOAP, WSDL, and UDDI. XML is a data format used to contain the data and provides metadata around. SOAP is used to transfer the data. WSDL is used for describing the service. Basically, these terms might be a little bit difficult to understand for you, and they need one by one word, explanation, and need to look at into the more detail. But in summary, let me explain to you. When you say a service in front of you, it means, as I told you, that if you wanted a cheaper airline on your
Mhm.
specific dates, for example, let's say Skyscanner website, you put the
Mhm.
dates, then it's not a magic that you know your magic is asking every website to give them your required dates and they are giving you the options, but
Mhm.
it is a web service overall uses XML. The data travels, your requirement travels in the form of XML, yeah, and is sent to the service providers using simple SOAP protocol, yeah, simple
Mhm.
object access protocol, and where the list of services, they are probably stored at a central location like a UDDI, universal description directory integration, yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
and the descriptions of the services is stored by WSDL, Web Service Description Language. So overall, you have a triangle basically, like a UDDI. There is a services registry. You are a client, and the service provider services provides the services, and all that integration for, in a kind of portal becomes a web service. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
So you can further study what are the web services in detail, but in nutshell, it is based on the three things: that you use XML as a universally acceptable form of data, and
Mhm.
you use a SOAP, simple object access protocol, and you try to communicate with the service providers, and they reside at a central registry, and the definitions of the services is stored using WSDL, Web Service Description Language. All these are kind of the languages similar to HTML. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Role of mobile applications. Mobile application software or mobile app is an application software designed to run on mobile devices. Yeah, such as smartphones, tablets, computers. So you must be very familiar with the apps into your smartphones, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the about the mobile applications. It gives you better communications. Obviously, you need to install. You should have some computer, for example, to access those websites. But if it is a mobile, then instead of using the any of the sections of a website into browser, it will be difficult. But mobile apps will give you a better communication and quicker communication, like whatever the options. For example, if you have a banking app, if you go to the bank, then just logging into the app, you can easily watch the balance. There are
Mhm.
quick buttons. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. It's quicker.
Then they provide you a social media type of the apps as well, like similar way you have a WhatsApp, you have a Facebook, you have a Twitter. Your lots of more social media applications become easy for you using the mobile apps, isn't it? Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Organized life, you have lots of the directories, calendars, many more apps. They help you organize your life, isn't it? Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Small screen, certain, now we discuss certain interface issues. Obviously, the mobile apps have a small screens. Really depends that how these can be made better. But nowadays, even the phones have become they are coming in bigger screens, isn't it?
Mhm. Yeah.
But obviously difficult to afford, isn't it?
Mhm. More
Like
or less,
latest
yes.
mobiles, they are very expensive,
Yeah, indeed.
like Note, and the Samsung Note, Galaxy Note, and uh, uh,
Mhm.
they are like 800 pounds, the latest versions.
All right.
Now, single window obviously your mobiles cannot run more than one apps at a one time. That's also a problem. Yeah. Normally in Windows, in computer, you can run like a two browsers and few applications, but apps, unfortunately, they run at a one time. But probably not, you know, later, but very soon, your apps would be running on the phones, and you can minimize them. Yeah. Touch screen. Touch screen is little bit sometimes difficult as compared to accessing through the mouse, isn't it?
Yeah, the mouse as well.
Like, you type, you take a little bit more time as compared to if you were on the normal keyboard. Yeah.
I prefer the buttons, to be honest.
I mean,
But
touch screen, like,
weird.
it's not always as much as easy as compared to using the computer.
Yeah, especially when you're sending a text.
Sending a text, you are driving, and if you are eating, then probably you are at a difficulty.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Then GPS, camera, accelerometer, voice, and other phone features, they are good enough, but obviously need more and more, capabilities to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Security is also the issue. The more and more the apps are secure, then you will be okay. Otherwise, you can easily be cheated with, viruses, and somebody can hack your phone very easily. Is that true?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Making devices risk aware. So you should be able to know, for example, if you wanted to install the WhatsApp, then you can easily find the first link into the App Store or Google Play Store, and you will install. Yeah. But probably the other applications, you will be scared whether they are good or not, and are they user friendly or not. You should be aware of the risk as well. Yeah. Is that true?
Yeah, it is.
And preventing data theft and leakage, obviously, if certain you install an application and it took your credit card information, or it is monitoring your usage, that what you are using, what passwords you are entering into the applications, everything can happen. So these security issues must be concerned. Yeah.
Yeah.
Restricting high risk access and transactions. So it really depends that how the phone has been designed, or how the application has been designed. The same thing comes, that your transactions, and you should be very much familiar about the high risk of accessing those applications. This is similar to the previous slide. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it. So is there any questions overall from any of the slide?
I think yes, regarding the web applications.
Regarding web applications. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go to the last section. I think it was type 4.
Yeah.
Type 5 maybe, sorry.
5, yeah.
That is, all right. I will try to to put it in words regarding the XML and SOAP and all those languages.
This
Let's
one,
say
yeah.
I use Skyscanner. Yeah. Web services.
Yeah.
All right. Let's say I use Skyscanner, okay?
Yeah.
And I input some data.
Yeah.
The data is in XML form, or that's a separate thing. Like I input the data, the Skyscanner contacts the databases. I think you said via the UDDI protocol.
Yeah.
Then
basically, yeah. Let me add one more thing. SOA, service oriented architecture. Yeah. Basically, these terminologies work under service oriented architecture. Yeah. So service-oriented architecture is a triangle, yeah, that works on, the UDDI is the one corner, and one second. Normally, this is a common picture of service-oriented architecture. The UDDI is the service broker or registry. Yeah, the consumer, and they communicate with the registry using the protocol, simple object access protocol. So, yeah, the description of the service is written into the WSDL, Web Service Description Language. Yeah, and the data that is the requirement is written into the XML. Yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah.
So data travels into the XML, and the SOAP is the kind of protocol, let's say, is a protocol of traveling or whatever, and the UDDI stores those services, and they communicate. They know the addresses of the services and everything. Then they get the service. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other question?
No, I think I'm all right.
Probably you would need to learn what are the web services in more detail, and this is the just very simple definition, but it's a very big topic, very big like the PhD. My PhD is in the web services, so you need lot of time to start with.
I was trying to start a new
you are most welcome
programming
to start
language.
this. You are most welcome to start this, and I would be happy to provide you more stuff on this as well. Yeah. So we end up this session now, and I will see you next week, hopefully. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And maybe we might conduct another session in this week. So let us try to have 2 sessions in a week. But I would let you know according to your availability, the one that you have sent to me. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm off
Okay,
on
then
Friday.
Yeah.
All right. Bye bye.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Bye.